Hi, this is a short presentation of the template for data protection impact assessment produced in the CyberSec for Europe project. The asset is designed to help users perform and document their own DPIAs. The data protection impact assessment template is a part of a deliverable dedicated to guiding the user through the process of conducting a DPIA. The template can also serve as a basis for the documentation of the performed analysis. The template is designed for smaller organizations with limited resources and is easily adjustable to any specific requirements or needs. The DPIA template was already demonstrated in deliverable D3.13, but because the assessment is largely dependent on the use case, we demonstrate it again here in different circumstances to give potential users multiple distinct examples they can look at when preparing their own assessments. The asset containing the DPIA template is available as deliverable D3.6 on the project's website under Publications, with some additional expansions to the work published in deliverable D3.16. The Data Protection Impact Assessment template includes helping guides to determine the need for DPIA in a given situation. It helps with establishing relevance and proportionality of the collected personal data and helps with assessing the risks to individuals' rights and freedoms. This includes predefined levels of compliance and an extensive pre-prepared list of potential risks. The asset also contains advice on consultations with the data protection officer and a template to perform an optional self-assessment step that helps users make sure they have covered all of the GDPR requirements. In this demonstration, we have used a DPIA template to create an example data protection impact assessment for processing personal data collected from surveys based on participants' consent. This is the demonstration or an example of a data protection impact assessment created using the described DPIA template for processing personal data of people taking part in a survey. In our case, it is an online skill assessment questionnaire that does collect identifiable information. We will skip over more generic things like the introduction or definition of terms and focus on things template provides more support for. First is the personal data that will be processed for this application. In addition to the list of data that will be processed, the main things to define are the basis for data collection and how long will the data be stored. In our case, we are collecting data based on individuals' consent and are retaining the information for 2 years. These are the defined levels of compliance and relevance for potential risks. They range from not applicable, when predefined risks are not relevant to a given use case, and go through low and medium to high. When risk is high, the processing cannot begin until it is approved by a supervisory authority. The levels are used in the risk assessment, which we'll look at next. Here we have a risk assessment table. The template provides over 120 potential risks, which are in the first column of the table. The user then has to evaluate the probability and severity of the risk, given their circumstances, and from them derive the actual risks to the rights and freedoms of data subjects. In the next two fields, they write any notes they have and measures that were taken to reduce the risk. The new probability and severity and the consequential risk are defined at the far right side. The final analysis of the risk assessment shows if the associated risks are acceptable or if additional actions are necessary. Here you can easily see the effect the applied measures have on the risks. This concludes the presentation of the Data Protection Impact Assessment template. We hope you found it interesting. Thank you for watching and goodbye.